CEO of 22nd Century Technologies. After navigating multiple industry downturns, he strategically pivoted to the government sector in 2008, transforming a startup into a powerhouse with over 6,000 employees and $500 million in revenue. Anil, welcome.
Thank you.
Next, we have Raj Ramesh, a serial entrepreneur, author, and a leading tech expert. As the co-founder of Cybermedia Technologies, which he successfully sold last year, he's a master of making complex technologies understandable and actionable. Raj, it's great to have you. And last but not the least, we have Sandesh Sharda. Sandesh is an entrepreneur, investor, philanthropist, and also a great person to hang out with. After 19 years, successfully exited his company Miracle Systems in 2003. Today, he manages diverse investment portfolios, dedicates his time in mentoring the next generation of entrepreneurs. Sandesh, thank you for being here. And this evening, I had the opportunity to connect with many of our audiences, and I know they're all very excited to celebrate your success, and more importantly, hear your experiences to understand how we can grow our business. And you three CEOs who led and are still leading some of the most innovative technology firms supporting various government missions. Before we dive into the details, I would like to first ask my first question to share your biggest federal wins. Anil?
So, you said federal wins. Our biggest federal wins is just the recent one. We won a IRS $660 million award just recently.
Raj?
Jyoti, thank you for the introduction. It's an honor to be on this panel with Anil, who is well on his way to becoming a unicorn, and Sandesh, who is a trailblazer and on his way to building his own famous brand. So, and my claim to fame is along with my wife Kay Ramesh, we built and sold a digital services modernization firm, and I also wrote a book about my entrepreneurial journey. So here's a book, here's a copy for you, Sandesh. Here's a copy for you, Anil. And here's a copy for you, Jyoti. If you get stuck with any of the answers, you can flip through the book. Back to the question, our biggest contract was a single award, $110 million contract, which has the potential to become a $1 billion contract with the IRS. So that's, we're very proud of that, and that came very timely just before our exit.
Thank you, Anil and Ramesh. Since you both are working for IRS, as an honorable member of IAMBIG, may we request some of your agents to not look at us on this side. So, Jyoti, thanks for the introduction, and thanks to the audience patiently waiting here, knowing very well that the food is being served in the back. So, I'll try to answer your question. Sometimes your question is about what was your biggest award. So I'm going to give you two answers to that. One is in terms of dollar volume, we had a full and open win with CISA, $315 million single award. That was our biggest win. But since we are talking GovCon, and I want all the entrepreneurs, and I'm sure I relate to them, our biggest award is our first contract that we win with any federal agency as a prime contractor. No matter how small it is one of the biggest awards.
Thank you. As we all agree, one of the fun and interesting daily conversations we all have, and it revolves around growth and opportunities. Anil, Raj, Sandesh, please share, how did you identify and pick opportunities to pursue? Yes.
Identify and pick. So say opportunities. First, I must say that the federal sea is so big, right? You have wishes for everybody to pick, but obviously you can do what you can do. So it's always the best I would say is something you can win. That's it. Definitely we go through the process. We win. Not only to win it out, also to make sure that you can deliver it. So it's a two important factor for us when we pick the team, and it's a process. I know we went through one small business panel, and each stage that process is different. Some of the small businesses I believe covered when we were small. We're going after what we can do. We think, do we meet section L and M? Do we have past performance? We go ahead and win it. Today, it's a different. Today we see that, okay, is it a good size opportunity? How much is the efforts? How we will deliver it? What will be the profit we can make it? So it's all those factors, and obviously, can we really win it? Can we put effort to capture it? For me, one thing I must say that which differentiates us with anybody, yes, at this stage, probably knowing the customer is important, but if you ask me, until when we were small, that was never a criteria for me. And a lot of small business talk to me. I always say that don't hear the beltway, don't hear BD, who said that don't bid if you don't know the customer. I can tell that even today, 70% of my business out of 600 million is where I didn't know the customer. So
that's insightful. Raj?
I'm a big believer in harnessing the assets of the company. When I was running the company, I noticed a trend. Some of the bigger contracts, they required cloud computing, they required cybersecurity, they required training, and they required change management. Contract after contract, they were putting this out, and these were the ingredients of a large contract. Now, we had all this in smaller contracts, so I'm a big believer, I write about this in my book, that a rope is stronger than its individual threads, meaning I spend a lot of time trying to figure out how do I leverage and integrate all these capabilities and showcase this. So when we started doing that, we went from $10 million contracts to $36 million contracts to $100 million contracts. So that was my mantra for how I would pick and win contracts.
Thank you. Sandesh?
So again, I'm going to have two answers. Because in the audience, we have small business and mid-sized business who are transitioning from small to mid-size. So when you are a small business and you have different designations, whether it is 8A, women-owned, hub zone, I think you guys need to play your card and go to customers who already know you. Those are easy wins. No matter how many 8A you can get, no matter how many women-owned you get, revenue is revenue. Try to book as much revenue using those smaller contracts designated for specific category. growth will happen, and it will happen with time. For larger businesses or mid-sized businesses, you need to go back to the same customer or look for opportunities within the same customer that has small business as well as large business contracts. I think you will have a higher degree of success trying to win a larger contract within the agency that customer know you, first as a small business partner and then as a mid-size or a large business partner. When you are going for large business contracts, there is a tendency, and in the panel also they were saying, you need to have full and open business. The issue with that is, you will burn bridges with your customer if you keep going back to the same customer for past performance. Use it wisely. Use CPARs if possible, or insist in your Q&A to allow you to use CPARs. So you need to target agencies where you already have business, or target major incumbents who are there in an agency and convince them that they take you as a prime and they become your sub. That is your best shot of winning.
That's insightful, thank you. It all boils down to the vision and your leadership. It's a follow-up question. What's your one-line mantra that defines your leadership style, Sandesh?
I think you need to be inclusive in terms of you cannot do everything on your own. So you need to build a management team that you can make sure that they are also equally committed as you. So offering them incentives, whether it is equity or whether it is revenue sharing or commission from revenue, whatever you may want to call. But I think people will be attached to you or committed to you if they see a dollar figure next to it. I know it's blunt, but that's what it is.
For me, it's leadership by consensus. You got to get everybody's participation and skin in the game for any project to be successful.
So you said one line, I would say, take care of your employees. Take care of your employees.
That's amazing. Now, I'll ask one question to each of you, and I'll start with Sandesh. GovCon isn't exactly known for risk-taking. What was the boldest decision you have made that paid off?
So, yes, GovCon is not about risk-taking. We try to be conservative. But if you want to grow and scale your business, you got to take that risk. So when I was about $3 million in revenue, there was an opportunity at the State Department that was $550 million. And I looked at the opportunity and I looked at the bank balance. I said, if I don't win, probably I'll have to work somewhere. But I took the risk of bidding that $550 million contract. You were aware of that contract at the State Department. We won that contract. But to win that contract, winning IDIQ is one thing. Winning tax quarter is a ball game. So the $3 million that I had in the bank, I put advertisement in the metro stations so that customers who are going in and out of metro would see Miracle Systems. I had radio ads going at the same time. So somebody who is driving, my customer or who is driving, was listening to the radio ads. And within the 6 months of winning the contract, we added about 72 task orders and 400 employees. So that was the risk I took. Either it would have made it, or I would have worked for probably you. But that is the step you need to take. Believe in yourself, and sooner or later, you know what? Everyone who's sitting here today, you may be small business. You are just one win away from a large, becoming $30 million company. So don't give up. Go for that one win, and then people will take notice of you.
I was never afraid of taking risks, especially when it came to going after large contracts. For me, it was always, if all the ducks lined up, and if I would not listen to folks that said, oh, such a so-and-so big company, they have this wired, they are the ones to win it. For me, it was like, all right, if I have all the resources and the ingredients and I can go after it, I would take a swing at it. That was how we were always taking risks and going after large contracts, and we were pretty successful at it.
Anil, you have a different question. Many of us know the GovCon grind. What got you through your toughest season as a CEO? Toughest season. What season? Yeah. What got you the toughest time? What got you out of the toughest time?
He's on a roll.
I mean, from starting journey, I would say my toughest in the GovCon was the first 2 years. I will tell, I know, I talked to a lot of small businesses, and the lesson learned for me, which in fact, I would say the help. It feel like that time it was the toughest decision, but that gave me so many lessons learned, and that was, I came to this world, federal GovCon, totally new. I moved from Illinois to Washington, Northern Virginia area to start the GovCon, and I was listening to the Beltway, hired some consultant, and everybody said that to get the entry to the GovCon is work with big guys, big brothers. I won't name, but you know the big guys. Work with them, they will get you there. I can tell you that the first 2 years, I was working day and night, writing the proposals. I'm a technocrat by profession. I was a infrastructure, databases, those were my background. And I learned the proposals, writing for them. 2 years, attended probably 10 to 12 big win parties, a lot of fine wines, which come out of my proposal. And I can tell you that even after almost 24 months, and every win I ask them, okay, great, it's a great party, now tell me what we are getting out of it. And the answer was always, yeah, we're looking where you can add value. And that was the answer I get. And I said, I thought I spent at least 2 weeks of day and night writing this proposal. That was my value add. In some cases, I write like almost 100% of those technical proposals. But at the end, so those 2 years, at 18th month, I decided, and I can tell you that even I attended some small business sessions. I heard the same thing from small businesses. Only way to succeed is go work with big guys. I'm just giving that message to small business. Don't listen to those messages. So at the end, I get nothing. So that time I decided that no matter what, we're going to go on our own. Even if it's a small, we'll bid it. And I can proudly say that my first contract was $47,000 out of Fort Belvoir for US Army. And that customer today from 47,000 is more than $47 million. So, but those 2 years just dependent upon someone trying to subcontract, trying to see that if someone will give me some work was the most difficult. And I will say that be owner of your destiny. I will tell the small businesses, today we don't have even 1% of subcontract work. Every single penny we get is the prime work, either through us or through our JVs, or with our protege. That's what we decided after the 2 year of difficult struggle that I'm not going to ever do sub again.
Great advice. Raj, this question is for you.
Okay.
What's something you have learned the hard way about leading through scale or contract transition?
Once we, even before we started thinking of an exit, we were aware of what the requirements were to move contracts from the contracts that we held, which were in ADA programs, to small business, and then to full and open. So we were very conscious of that, and some of our ADA contracts, we moved it into IT Schedule 70, but none of that happened without the cooperation of the customer, meaning that we delivered excellent values, and the customer was fully behind. We explained it to them, and they helped us place it on a vehicle with all the guardrails that we wrote into the proposal or the statement of work. And whether it's moving a contract from ADA into small business or full and open, we have been blessed, and I guess it's a testament to the excellent work that our employees have done. They have delivered quality to our customers, that they have been very supportive in helping us transition from small business ADA contracts to full and open work.
Great. The next question is related to profitability, partnership, and culture. Sandesh, in the current challenging environment, business valuations are done through EBITDA margins. How do you maintain margins and continue to grow? In other words, how do you manage profitability and growth in this challenging environment?
Jyoti, are you sure I'm the right person to answer this question?
Yes.
Because I did an exit in 2023. So how would I do it is what I can answer. But how am I doing it? I don't know. I have other businesses where I still apply the same principle. You got to be profitable. If you don't work on your bottom line, you will never sell your business. I heard Greg mention 4% EBITDA. I mean, that's insane. I would never do that. I think unless you are at 12 to 14% EBITDA margins, your business will not be able to, you won't be able to get the enterprise value for your business. So in this challenging environment, we heard some of the techniques our small business panel talked about, that if the work is to be done 1 million, he mentioned that we could do the same thing for 500,000. Maybe they were talking about doing an FFP contract. Maybe they were talking about deliverable-based contract. I think no matter what, profitability is very important. I would still pay attention to profitability. I would not take any work whereby I am paying money to my employees from my pocket. I mean, I know people were very generous in saying we gave salary for 1 year. I'm the first one to say I wouldn't have done that. So it sounds harsh, but I think it's a practical reality, no matter what people say. And bottom line is very important.
I look at the people who has helped me, who want to be entrepreneur. I always give first priority for them in my mentor protege. And on the partnership, it's a win-win. It's a win-win. As I said, we don't do sub, but we definitely bring partners for when we go prime on the large and joint ventures. On the being large, we have to meet the goals. A lot of those goals are important, but we do go to small businesses and to see if we can help them, and as long as they bring some value, or it can be a help in some cases. That's all.
Thank you for your thoughtful answers. We are going to wrap up with the lightning round with a focus on the future outlook. Each of you will get 10 seconds to answer these questions. Raj, biggest tech trend federal government still underestimates?
I would say it is in the area of quantum computing. the federal government is not even looking at it, but 5 to 7 years from now, there's, for those of you in cybersecurity, that's a trend that it's going to be an avalanche because all of the RSA and crypto keys and all that will be broken by quantum computers. But if you're trying to get into the market, now is the time to invest in it because the federal government is always a few years behind. But that is that is a trend that is going to very much on the horizon.
Wonderful, thank you. Anil, if you could redesign one part of the acquisition process tomorrow, what would that be?
Again.
Redesign acquisition process or change one thing, what would that be?
So you mean redesign of federal acquisition? I think the acquisition is going in that direction, which is seeing the value which we can add, which is phase approach, seeing the pilot. I just talked about our largest win of IRS. That was win through that different process. We got that IRS as a pilot. The first IRS gave us $75,000 to deliver them. They give us, we need this, or we are giving you $75,000. They give us and the 5 other companies. Specific pilot from $75,000, from 5, they reduced it to 3 companies. They gave $500,000. Do that, and then they add up to around 4.5 million to do their delivery for 18 months. And from that, after that they compete. So from 75,000 to 500 to 3.5 million, finally we win the 660 million. That's the new acquisition in federal government.
Yes, wonderful. Sandesh, what advice would you give your 30-year-old self? Please don't say you're not 30 yet. We just recently attended your birthday.
So I didn't understand your question.
What advice would you give your 30-year-old self? This is purely business.
So knowing, there was a movie called Back to the Future. So if you are saying that with the experience I have now of 20, 25 years, if I was 30 years today, what advice? I would say that it took almost 15 years to grow the business. When I see various private equities, they go out there and they buy a bunch of farms, they package it together and they sell it to a third party. I think I would have done that. I think it's very interesting to buy complementary businesses